Okay, so this video is going to be much more raw. This video is going to be talking about the realities of full-time trading. I'm going to talk to you about my schedule. I'm going to talk to you about how much I make and how much you can expect to make. University, possibly staying in your full-time job, and actually the reality of full-time trading. This is a very important video, and by the end you're going to have a lot of takeaways, and I'll do a giveaway at the end. So stick around and let's get to it. I've just made coffee and I did my review of the markets directly in the morning. Now, I want to make this video because even though I also have a community, a trading course, which is currently closed, but it will open back up at the end of June, I want to talk about what it actually is to be a full-time trader, because I know that that's a goal with a lot of you guys, is to become full-time traders, and I think that's a very, very good goal. Ever since I started trading, my goal was to become a full-time trader, to the point that I went full-time trading before I was a profitable trader. I was 2 years working with 2 jobs, saving up 10,000 pounds to then be able to go back to my parents' house here in Portugal, exactly where I'm in right now, to be able to become a full-time trader. And now I've made over $200,000 from trading over the last 2 years. Basically, I started making money from trading 2.5 years in, but it wasn't consistent, right? After 3.5 years, it was consistent. So the way that I talk about it is that 2.5 years in, I started making money, but it wasn't consistent. Then 3 years in, I had consistent returns. And then 3.5 years in, I started making consistent money. So it's been a hell of a roller coaster. And that's why I really want to talk about this video, because I became a full-time trader before I was a profitable trader. That's first of all. And second of all is that because it's not all rainbows and sunshine. And that is really, really what I want to talk about in this video. I'm going to talk about the reality of what my life looks like when I'm trading. So my days typically start at 2 hours or 1 hour before London session, which, if you guys don't know, it's at 8 a.m. London or 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I know people love to use Eastern Standard Time. And then once I wake up, I go to the charts and I do my forecast for the day. If there's any time between the forecast of the day and then starting to trade, which normally is London session, I like to be more aware of the market during London session. I'm not a scalper, and because of that, I normally have maybe 1 trade a day on average. When you're trading, unless you're trading indices and you only focus on indices when the market opens, most of the time you're going to be in that aware state of the market that you have to check the market once in a while consistently every single day, because the setup might present. Now, what this does is that it really affects your life, because if the people around you don't support you, they will not understand why you are constantly checking your phone. If you have a family and all of a sudden you're a lot at home and you are working, but people think that you're not doing anything, because this is what most people think. If you are on the computer working, you are likely not doing anything. That's what most people think. And that happened a lot in the beginning when I was back at my parents' house, where they would be like, oh, you're not doing anything around the house, you're not doing anything around the house, you're not doing anything. And I was like, I'm constantly working. Like, I was constantly in my office working every single day, because that was my goal. It was to become a full-time trader. But you need to understand the reality of becoming a full-time trader is that a lot of people will not understand you at all, and they will not support the journey that you're in, especially if you are not yet consistently making money from it. Because then not only are people not seeing the outcomes of the work that you're putting in, but also they don't see the work that you put in, and probably they even think that you're just gambling, right? So that's a big issue from becoming a full-time trader. Now, this also affects a lot the life that we think we are going to have, in terms of, oh yeah, when I'm full-time, I'm going to go on that vacation, I'm going to go on that boat, I'm going to go there, I'm going to go there. And you can't really think like that, because us as full-time traders, you need to understand that unless you have a really, really good emergency fund, which is what I did as soon as I started trading and I started making money from trading. Listen, most of the times what I would do is 50% of my payout would go into a personal account, and then the other 50% I wouldn't spend it, because I increased my lifestyle. So I went to Dubai. All of a sudden I lost $1.2 million in funding, 20K in payouts, and now I'm stuck with having consistently very big expenses every single month. So this to say that we think that when we become full-time traders that it's going to be all glamorous and lifestyle. No, you're probably even going to have to decrease your lifestyle because you understand that your income is a little bit vulnerable, right? But now, how much money can you expect to make from trading? I would say it depends a lot on where you are at in life, because if you have a high-paying job, for the longest time, you are likely to make way more money from your high-paying job than you are from trading. If you have a high-paying job, what can you do? You can afford a little bit more risk on the prop firms. You can afford a little bit of a bigger personal account. So that is where it helps. Let me tell you one thing, and this is the reality of trading that no one tells you, which is if I've made $200,000 from trading in the last 5 years, that means that on average I've had a $40,000 annual salary. And yes, that might be great for some people, but understand that with a good paying job in a developed country, you are likely to make that also, right? A lot of people would make more money if they would pursue a career and actually become good at one job and land a high paying job. So just keep that in mind. Now, about the glamour of full-time trading. So it's not glamorous. It can be, it can, if you have more of a work-life balance than I do, because I just like to work. I love to work. And that's the reality of me. I try to get a position on FX between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. and then I transition into trading futures. So futures, if you guys don't know, I trade the 1 minute on futures while I trade the 5 minute up on FX. So I have my position running possibly on FX and then I just switch into futures. I switch into NASDAQ mode and I start trading NASDAQ. Then I look at the clock, it's maybe 4 or 5 p.m. and that is when I then go and do things for myself, which basically means going to the gym. Like, these don't build their own. Okay, chill. That's normally when I go to the gym, and then I come back home, do a little bit, review the markets a little bit, maybe take some time to reflect on the day, wind down a little bit, because if you had a positive day, if you had a negative day, then you need to balance those emotions out. And that's what I try to do after coming from the gym. So, and prepare for the next day, meaning I'm answering emails, I'm answering the Discord. Like, we have now a lot of members inside of the Simple Trading Edge, and a lot of people are finding huge amounts of success inside of the Simple Trading Edge, but that comes through the fact that I need to be very present in terms of if someone has a question, then I have to answer. Now, I'm working on a revamp for the Simple Trading Edge. That also requires my work. But let's answer some common asked questions. Okay, so first common asked question, and this is an important one. What hobbies do you have? How do you engage yourself out of the marketplace? So I don't have many hobbies. I would say that the gym is the one that is most common, but make sure that I just keep on focusing on trading more and more and more. It really consumes your life. And if you don't have that work-life balance and you want to have that work-life balance, then probably trading is not for you. How do you deal with losing months, if there's any? You know, that's why I really wanted to make this video. There's always going to be losing months, right? For me, it's crazy how people think that once you become a full-time trader, once you become a profitable trader, there are not going to be any losing months. Listen, in May, I was negative in FX. At the end of the day, I felt like, hey, it's part of the job. Because that's literally what it is. It's part of the job. And a lot of traders don't understand, and that's why they stay in the cycle of being an unprofitable trader, is because they judge themselves on one trade, on 2 trades, maybe on 10 trades. They judge themselves on 10 trades, not understanding that in trading, you should judge yourself after 100 trades or after 1,000 trades. Because statistics, you can't predict the next outcome of your 10 trades, but you are likely to be able to predict the outcome of your next 100 trades or 1,000 trades. So for me, the way that I deal with losing months, moving on, it's understanding it's part of the game, it's part of statistics, review what you did wrong, and then you move on to the next. Now, how scalable is it? I would say trading full-time is actually very scalable, just because you can always get more capital. the potential for capital is unmatched, right? You are not necessarily going to be having the best conditions like you have with prop firms, even though you can still scale prop firm. It's very, very scalable. You can get a lot of money once you become a profitable trader. I have people giving me money to trade for them like every single day. Would 500K in funding capital be enough to live for 1 year with 2% consistent every single month? Well, ask yourself, can you live off $10,000 minus taxes? So let's even say $5,000 every single month. If the answer is yes, then probably yes, but understand that this is a rainbows and sunshine look at what trading really is like. And then the consistent 2% a month also depends on understanding that yes, you might make 2% consistent every single month, but at the same time, you might be negative. Do you enjoy trading? Yes, I still enjoy trading a lot. Even though, like, obviously we don't like the losing days. The losing days sometimes can be a huge burden, especially when you're dealing with larger capital, because you think about percentage, but then you also take a loss and then you look at the monetary amount. So yeah, I still love trading and I have love for the game ever since the beginning. How much time per day do you spend trading, chart analysis, and trade management if so? I would say around 8 hours a day. Because think about this, it's from London session open until London close, let's say. That's 8 hours. So again, it's not as glamorous as people make it seem online. How much time do you spend a week on your psychology? I don't spend much time on my psychology, even though I definitely should spend a little bit longer, but I think that most of the trading psychology comes from the live market, reading a little bit, and then just experiencing what you are going to feel and analyzing and reviewing, fixing all of the issues that will come up. It feels boring when trading, is that okay? Well, depends. If trading is boring but you still execute on everything that you do, then yes, it's okay. But if trading is boring and because of that you just enter in a random trade, then that's not good. Like for me, trading does not feel boring at all. Impact on your life, family, friends. Yeah, this is one of the most important questions because with trading, you're actually sacrificing a lot. You're sacrificing time that you're not going to be spending with your friends. That probably is going to make you lose some friends. Your family will not understand you at all in the beginning, so it affects your family life for sure. And that's why, for example, the gym is one of my few hobbies because I need to work on my health even though I'm working a lot. A lot of stress. Yes, I would say so, just because this contradicts a little bit of what I said before. Sometimes when you hit a rough patch in your trading, you really start feeling a little bit of stress because let's say the market is moving in the direction that you want it to move, but it doesn't give you entries or sweeps you out before it went in your direction. So that made me feel some stress, and sometimes it can be a lot of stress, but I would say it's worth it. And it's funny because that answers the next question, is it worth it? I would say yes, just keep in mind the high paying job versus trading in your forefront of your mind. Are you lonely? That's a good question. And because for the longest time, I was doing this all by myself. I was trading for 10 hours a day in my office, in the coffee shop, whatever it is. I had no friends. For the longest time, I had no friends. There are going to be a lot of lonely times in your trading because it's like you're just in your computer, isolated, trying to learn how to trade. But at the end of the day, if you want a great outcome from trading, you need to sacrifice things. So just keep that in mind, but it's worth it. But yeah, that is basically it. I hope this was able to answer a lot of your questions. And yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe. If you guys are interested in joining the Simple Trading Edge, there's going to be a link in the description. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.